Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I heard y'all like that. I just couldn't believe it.
Hey, when did you buy that piece of property right there?
I don't own it. I'm not saying I own it. But
You're just acting like you own it.
it's marked. I'm a commercial fisherman. This is how I make my living.
This is how I make a living. And so there's poles all over the place here, so I can't fish anywhere around here? Is that what you're saying? Because if I stayed away from shiner poles, I'd have to sit out in the middle of the lake and I wouldn't be able to fish anywhere.
It's a hell of a lot harder than what you're doing.
What's that?
What I do is a hell of a lot harder than
Really?
what you're doing.
Well, there you go. Ooh, that a decent one?
Feels good.
Our first bite of the day.
I'm all right now. He's not wanting to.
See, when they're not schooling sometimes here, you catch a little bit better fish. You just don't get as many bites.
Right. Come up.
I think he's pulling harder than what he is.
Yeah. Probably about 2 pounds.
Oh man, I thought he was bigger than that, didn't
Yeah,
you?
me too. He felt bigger.
The splash out there seemed bigger too.
All right.
There's one.
First fish. Woohoo.
Nice.
He did feel bigger.
Yeah, so I'm out here on Lake Toho this morning, fishing with 2 local guys that want to learn. Not just guide them today, they want to learn more about bass fishing here in Florida. They're not originally from Florida. How long you guys been here?
5 years, but
5
fishing
years.
for a year.
They've only been fishing for a year, so it's all about teaching today.
Teach us, sensei.
Some technique, and we are on Lake Toho. We got a bunch of fog, just like in my last video. I think it was my last video. We're starting out throwing my old go-to bait here, this 8-inch DOA worm on a Texas rig. There's our first fish blowing up. We've been fishing about a half hour with no action at all. He catches one, the fog's lifting, and now they're coming up schooling. We're out here on a shell bed, but I'm gonna talk a lot about technique today, about what we're doing with the worm. We'll probably throw some lipless crankbaits, some one knockers, probably throw a little bit of the red eye shad like I usually do. Maybe get up shallow and up in some lily pads that, believe it or not, it is the end of November here. It's the last day of November. And these fish here are already pre-spawned. I know anybody from up north that's watching this, you guys fish don't start spawning until May and June, depending on how far up you go. But our fish down here will start spawning in December and spawn all the way through April. So we're already catching some fish every once in a while that are full of eggs. So we're gonna get up in some of these potential areas where they may be spawning and see if we can get some of the fish that are already moving up. But stay tuned and hopefully we'll put together a good video for you. That's funny. Oh, I'm getting fire right here. Eat it. Did he drop it? No, look at him swimming with it. Little guy.
There you go.
It's a little baby. So they're starting out a little slow here this morning, probably because of the fog, but that's our second little bite here on this shell bed. We're actually not on the heart of the shell bed, which is out this way a little bit, but this is where the fish have been biting. We've seen 1 fish blow up today and caught 2. So we might not be in this spot much longer. If we get some wind today, we're gonna throw some more exciting stuff. But if we get enough cloud cover, we're probably gonna get up shallow and throw some speed worms. And you get a bite?
Yeah, he just dropped it though. Yeah, he dropped it.
Probably get up shallow and throw some speed worms and flukes and stuff like that. And is it gonna eat it? We had a lot of them drop it here yesterday. Is he swimming with it? These shellbed fish are tricky. No? and I know that something happened there. There we go.
I don't think I need to grab
Probably
that
about the same size.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not.
We're going the wrong direction.
Baby guy.
It's our third bite of the morning, and they've consistently gotten smaller.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, I'm getting a bite too. See, if you wouldn't have thrown that back, we could have technically had a double.
Oh.
Oh, long distance release. It's funny, I don't know if they just stopped biting or if it's because I moved the boat 20 yards. That's how these shell beds are though, if you're not right on them, especially when they're not schooling. When they're schooling, hitting shad on the surface, it's easy to find them. But they're not schooling this morning, so you just got to move the boat around a little bit. When you start getting bit, you just sit there. Sometimes you'll keep catching them. But they do need to get bigger. All right, so we fished our first spot, ran down here to another area of the lake. Probably one of the cooler areas, areas of the lake. It's all scattered lily pads and Kissimmee grass and a whole bunch of different types of grass back in here. It's 3 to 4 feet deep. I got them throwing a fluke, and I'm gonna throw a speed worm. See if some of these fish are moving back in here. I haven't fished in this area right here in quite a while. I've been fishing a few hundred yards down, and didn't catch a bunch down there yesterday, so we're coming down here, see if we can find some fish moving up real early. I don't think there's gonna be fish spawning yet, but there is, with the water high like it is now, and they sprayed some of the pads back in here a few weeks ago to open it up. It looks really good back in here, and we're gonna see if we can find some fish back in here. We only caught like 4 on that shell bed. Might have had something to do with the fog. But I've got a big Magnum speed worm on here, weightless, and I'm gonna throw it out and just burn it over the surface like you would with a frog. It didn't work very well for me yesterday, but I have them throwing a fluke, and I'm sure they'll catch them on the fluke back in here, if the fish are here. Oh yeah.
Him and his kid and me and Chris, or him and his tournament buddy would go out.
Look at that big wake.
Yeah, get him. That's a nice fish.
I think it was a pickerel though, wasn't it? No, it was a bass. Did you see how he swirled up out of it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, come out of there. There you go. He looked a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that swirl come up. I thought you might have had you a beast.
I kind of wish I would have missed him, then I could have told on video that was a big one. But when you're holding the fish, little guy on a speed worm is about the same size as him. Now I know when I put this video out, somebody's gonna say, why weren't you using braid? Probably should be using braid back in here, but we're not. I just have monofilament on these rods. I got a 4/0 offset hook with a black and blue Zoom Magnum speed worm on here. And I'm basically just burning it across the surface like you would with some sort of burning frog, like a horny toad or something like that.
Got one?
Got one? Got another one. That was on a fluke.
Yeah.
You got them all down in the pads.
Yeah. I think I got him coming out. I got him out.
Now you know in a tournament that would have never come out, right?
No, it wouldn't have.
You got it?
I got him.
So that's how these fish, if you see here on the video, I'll kind of pan around here. We're on this big, giant, awesome looking Florida style grass flat. And we didn't catch anything for like 100 yards of it. And then we get right up in here and catch 2 back to back basically. They weren't big fish, but it's fun. He's still on there.
I didn't see me. 8-incher.
He was still on there. I just saw his tail. He's on the, you have to come, yeah. He was still there. Where'd he go? Swing your right to this way if you can.
Which way? Look. Where do you want me to go?
No.
on there.
He's a little guy. Little guy, all that work for a little guy.
This is a giant we're pulling out of here. Jeez.
A Toho giant.
Look at this. Yes. I just dug him out of the lily pads. Now this fish might look small, but I have incredibly large hands, and that's a 10-inch long fluke. It's just deceiving in the camera.
So I got 2 pickerel and 2 babies.
Ooh, that looked like a decent. Ooh, that one sounded a little bit better than.
It's only about 2 inches long, Chris.
It's 2 inches longer than the last one.
Good job, son.
He sounded good though, didn't he?
Yeah, it was fun.
You know, for his length though, he's a pretty fat little guy.
Yeah. Well, there's a little buck bass are up in here. There you go. So we fished probably a half a mile back in here, and some of the most gorgeous stuff you're ever going to see here. And all we've caught are little buck bass. We haven't caught anything good. And we haven't had a lot of bites, because in years past during the spawn, I've come back in here and you'll catch 20 or 30 back in here with some big females. But right now, all that's back in here, right here, the end of November, beginning of December, are these little buck bass. But I think when time comes, it's going to load up with some big fish. So we're probably going to move on here in a minute. We're kind of at the end of the deal anyway. And we fished a shell bed this morning when it was real foggy. It looks like a different day out here now, but it's still the same day. It's just, it warmed up about 20 degrees and the sun's out and there's no clouds at all. But we haven't caught any big fish yet. So we fished inside, we fished outside shell bed. We're probably gonna go hit some grass lines and do all kinds of different stuff. So we'll do whatever we can to see if we can catch some bigger fish. So stay tuned. Oh, there you go. Got him? Finally.
You got any size to it?
Oh, that ain't a bad fish.
Not bad.
Right on the point. Not a giant, but it's respectable.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
Big
2
old
pounds, 2.5. Biggest fish of the day, I'd argue.
Oh, he's 3, probably.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is.
There you go. See him. Short, fat, and chunky.
That belly. It's a good one.
Right on offshore hydrilla bed.
It's a little more fun than a pickerel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're not getting bit back in here.
We saw this guy the other day. He's
Shiner catcher. See the white?
all the white bulbs.
Yeah, that's where he throws his feed at, or his chum.
Well, I heard about you guys don't give a shit about nobody. I heard y'all run right up on it and fish and scare all my shiners off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I heard y'all do shit like that.
Wha-
I just couldn't believe it.
Hey, when did you buy that piece of property right there?
I don't own it. I'm not saying I own it, but
You're just acting like you own it.
it's marked. I'm a commercial fisherman. This is how I make my living.
This is how I make a living. And so there's poles all over the place here, so I can't fish anywhere around here? Is that what you're saying? Because if I stayed away from shiner poles, I'd have to sit out in the middle of the lake and I wouldn't be able to fish
It's a
anywhere.
hell of a lot harder than what you're doing.
What's that?
What I do is a hell of a lot harder. Than
Really? Well, we make our own career choices, don't we? Jesus.
I'm gonna call WC in a minute.
Okay. Go, hey, call him now. What a moron.
What would he be calling FWC about?
Not anything.
No.
I get him for littering. You're not allowed to leave stuff in the lake.
Yeah, he,
Oh, he's coming back.
we don't care. I'm pretty sure we outnumber him.
I'm just letting you know, it's a federal offense to be fishing up this shit, be fucking with this shit.
What am I doing? Are you?
You know, I watched you guys throw right through it.
I'll pull the pole out. For one.
Federal offense.
A federal offense. So here's what this guy's telling. He's a shiner catcher. We're out here fishing. I'm so mad right now. He's got these little poles in the lake, and he's trying to tell me it's a federal offense for me to fish by them. If you could see all over, there's poles all over everywhere you go. That's how they mark where they throw their shiner chum. And he's all bent out of shape because we're fishing by one. Makes me want to pull all those poles out. I'm not going to do that because he's got every right to make a living also, but he doesn't own this lake. I guide on this lake and I don't own any part of it. But he's all bent out of shape about something. It's not my fault. He said he works a lot harder than I do. I don't care. I didn't make him become a shiner catcher. A lot of people work harder than I do. It's a free country and you can kind of pick what you want to do for a living, but that just aggravates me. He's threatened to call the FWC on me, so I really hope he does because I'm pretty sure sticking poles in the water is littering. And I have a Coast Guard captain's license and commercial insurance, and I'm doing everything legally, but apparently he owns this whole north end of the lake here. So we'll see. I kind of hope the FWC does come out. What a jerk. I have literally in 20 years of guiding never had any shiner catcher ever say a word to me before.
Really? Hell, we were.
So we're done fishing today. It was a pretty eventful day. Not all because of the fishing, because a shiner catcher decided that we were on his property. But anyway, we caught a few. Didn't catch them real good. Again, there's fish blowing up here. I think I found a pretty good area for these guys to fish in their little upcoming tournament for them. But hope you enjoy the video, and I will be back out here. There's a big fish blowing up over here right now.
Yeah,
but I will be back out here tomorrow and probably do some more filming. So keep watching and please subscribe to my channel.